All right, so this is our week 5 goals and experience. We are starting to get into the nitty gritty of Ayurvedic cooking and what all is involved there. I have had some experience with it so far, even before I started at MIU because of my yoga teacher training, my 200 and 300 hour training when I started researching it. Um, it was interesting trying to figure it out at first because I'd had all these spices I never heard of, and even like foods and beans and all kinds of stuff I've never heard of. So I'm like, where am I going to find this stuff? So my experience with it at first was, how am I going to do this and find all this stuff? Well, Amazon luckily has a lot of it. I just kind of read the reviews and see people's experience with buying it before I just go on and purchase it from whatever vendor that's on Amazon. Um, but as I've learned from um, other readings, and then when I came to MIU, I've gained that experience around that Ayurvedic cooking and what needs to be involved in it, as far as how my emotions are when I'm cooking it, because those can go into the food, and I'm not only feeding myself, but I'm feeding my children too. So that's going to play back on me. Um, if the food's wholesome, how I'm preparing it, the quantity, the time we're eating it at, stuff like that. So that's what my experience and goals have been around the Ayurvedic cooking so far. Has my awareness around the food and meal times increased, and how so? It has, because I notice when we eat on time, when we eat something that's wholesome, and like sit down and eat, not have everything crazy going on around us at the same time. Um, it it means we digest our food better. It gets to where it needs to in our bodies. Um, but still, some days have its challenges when we have extracurricular activities and more going on than should be going on. Our next question is, what are some of the good experiences you've had in this regard? Um, I've noticed that I haven't been bloated or gassy. It feels like the food's actually being digested when we're eating at meal times, proper portions, or times of the day. When I cook and I am enjoying cooking because I know it's going to be good for us. Um, and it just, it's just nice to know that if we treat our bodies right, especially with just food and what we're putting in it, that a good feeling comes out of it and we feel better all around and healthy. Let's see, next is, have you noticed any changes in your pulse, particularly with the subdoshas of Agni and the presence of Alma and Ojas in the last few weeks? I have noticed changes as we've changed our diet just slowly, not like too much all at once. Um, I noticed my Agni, the subdoshas that govern that, the Samana, Vata, Pachka Pitta, and Kledaka Kapha. They are very clear and they feel like they're working. They're not being bothered by my Vata. Like my Vata has actually been where it needs to be. It's not aggravating the other doshas like it has in the past. As far as Ama, I still occasionally feel it, but it's not like I don't have that covering in all doshas. It's usually just Kalpa that I'm having the covering first thing in the morning. But after I get whatever elimination, like those toxins out of my body from the night sleep, um, and taking in my warm water, just starting the day off, the there's where I can barely tell it's there. I have more clarity, more stability. Everything feels like in harmony, I guess. So I'm starting to feel OJS, which I have not felt before, because I had all that stress. Occasionally, the stress will override. It doesn't matter if I'm eating right or not. So that AMO kind of creep back in a little bit. So I have to get myself back on track, even though the stress is there. Know that I'm still gonna treat myself right. But that's what I've got. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening.